Welcome to Boberdoo. As I like to call this infographic here, it's our trusty infographic, more or less a 20,000 foot view of a standard workflow or process of how the system operates. So step one is the aggregation of your traffic sources. Boberdoo has the ability to track, route, and bill for web leads, clicks, and calls. From the web lead side of the equation, we use something called a source wizard, which is a three-step process where you effectively dictate what type of source you're integrating with, whether it's organic traffic, direct, or ping post from a vendor. And at the end of the three steps, it will provide you with posting instructions to then either utilize internally or provide to your third-party vendor. From the phone routing side of the equation, we leverage an integration directly with Twilio. So you pay them directly for minute usage, ordering of campaign and or DID numbers, but use the Boberdoo interface or UI for the entirety of your setup. Once you bring those sources through in that consistent format, step two is where the distribution comes into play. These are your buyers. In Boberdoo, we label them as partners, but we can manipulate that based off of your request. At the end of the day, their profiles are created and are able to receive those leads, clicks, or calls from you based off of an active account, available funds, and most importantly, a matching filter set. With the available funds side, we have the ability to integrate with Authorize.net, Braintree, or Stripe from your merchant account perspective. And then at that point, very similar to what we mentioned with Twilio, to bring your own credential setup, you use our interface for the configuration, but one of those merchants would be that processor on the back end. Once it matches based off of the logic of your choosing, we then create a delivery to your partners and or buyers based off of whatever it is that they're looking for. So generally speaking, it is an email delivery or a post directly into their CRM. As we hop into the system and look at the big three, step one, once again, is going to be the source vendor settings. You will establish which vertical it is that you are looking to set up in, walk through which specific source it is that you are looking to create, label things accordingly, save those changes, download the PDF in secure mode, and then again, either leverage these internally or provide them to your vendor for integration. Similarly, if we look at the phone routing side of the equation, there's an additional wizard where you walk through, and instead of a three-step, it is a four-step process where you do almost identically the same to what you saw with the data, additional configuration depending on how you want those calls to be processed or routed through the system. From the partner side, once again, it's the active account status, which is more or less just a flip of a switch, some form of available funds, and then once again, most importantly, the matching filter set. So each buyer can have as many different filter sets as you like, just dictating the amount of granularity that it is you're looking for. Similar to sources, you will establish which vertical it's associated with. And at the end of the day, these are almost like a campaign for your buyers. So the filter set name is an internal naming convention depending on how you want to label things. If you are establishing the price point and it is not sent to a ping post buyer, this is where you would input that value. What sources are they able to accept from? Where that lead needs to go. So once again, is that either an email delivery or a post into their CRM? We like to use the phrase define and assign. Once those deliveries are created within our delivery wizard, they would be available here within the dropdown. Everything else down below here is input based. So limits, whether it's hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly, they hit the specific cap designated. And then once it does, this filter set is shut off until that following period. You have schedules where you can select days and times of weeks where they are able to accept, as well as price discriminate based on those time frames. And as we go down further, this is data dependent, predicated off of what is being collected on the front end. So there's geo restrictions or filters, whether it is state and or zip code with a zip generator. So there's two options here, whether it is a radius around a designated zip code or a county. By by state. Different inputs, identical outputs. You'll see the CSV format here. And then everything else down below is predicated once again off of what it is that you're collecting. That is the high-level overview of boberdoo. If you have any questions or would like to schedule a call with us, please reach out and we're happy to dig into any nuances or discussion items you might have.